Hello everybody, my name's Colette and I'm the founder of the Sacred Rose Temple Mystery School. I'm here to speak to you about a new course that I'm going to be running in May and to just talk a little bit about the energies that we're seeing at play in the collective consciousness at the minute. So I work with many healing modalities with the feminine mostly, but also with men. To do with mind-body therapy and many different modalities that I've collected on my 20-year journey in spirituality. I'm a trained yoga teacher in different variations of yoga, and I have my own yoga school where I teach and train teachers in an emotional style of healing yoga. I own a retreat centre here in France that's currently under renovation and due to be open this year. And I write courses for the feminine sacred sexuality and courses to work with healing the chakras. So yes, I have lots of modalities and courses all going on at once, but my real passion is for the divine feminine and for work with the feminine. So that's why I wanted to make this video call out for you all today, because I'm kind of sending a signal out for my next piece of work. I've been seeing in the collective like so much about feminine and masculine, and it's really good because it's showing us that there's this kind of want in our humanity for a place where the woman's healing and the masculine's healing, and we're trying to make a difference in the way we've been behaving in the past and the way that our cultures and our upbringings and the imprints in our lives have left on us, and how we have kind of manifested quite a sick world from those wounds. So for me, it's so beautiful to see all of this teaching that's out there to do with the feminine and with the masculine. So the biggest thing I've been seeing, and strangely enough with clients that have been coming in for sessions, is this, and because I'm clairvoyant, I see things quite symbolically, is the imprint of the Hieros Gamos, the sacred relating. And many people have been coming forward to me, and this symbol is coming out of their auric field or out of their emotional body, and I'm like, another one. So it's been really interesting for me to see so many people with this symbol coming forward. I mean, these codes that we hold in our body can lay dormant for eons of time. So there's something going on in the collective with sacred relating, and this has been my own journey. In fact, you know, my whole want to heal was because I always felt that deeper call and that deeper imprint. I felt the want for sacred relating. I knew there was a more divine aspect of myself, a more sacred aspect of myself, and I knew that that was transferable in a human relationship between a man and a woman, or for me, a woman and God. So what I want to share with you today is really about this imprint, and for those of you that are feeling this imprint, that are feeling this calling, that there's a space in you that really wants to heal your feminine, and that might be your masculine as well, and you're looking at these different energies that work inside of you, feminine and masculine, and how they are having an impact in your world, in your life, in your work, in your relationship. So it's bubbling up. This is all bubbling up. It's bubbling up to the surface of humanity. And those with this symbology are really being called forward. We're really being asked to like step up and to get deeper into healing, so that we can bring the nature of divine relating into our real world, into our life. And I'm seeing that this is like a seesaw of energy, feminine, masculine, and everyone's trying to find the balance. And women are saying, oh, the masculine's not stepping up, and men are saying, oh, the woman's not stepping up. But at the root of it, we're all trying to play this game of life a little different, because what we've done so far has just led us into this state that we're currently in at the moment. So we're all being born into this time, and it's a really significant time, because as we descend, the Great Mother, the Dark Mother, is calling us down, and we're on this kind of burning dance floor, and we're all going, we need to figure this out. And it starts with ourselves. So I'm getting people coming forward in sessions saying, what is this that's burning in me? I'm feeling so unsatisfied. I'm feeling so frustrated. And it's the simple fact that a lot of us are carrying this Hieros Gamos blueprint in us, this divine sacred relating, and we don't really know what to do with it. And I've always had this blueprint. I've always felt this energy. I felt this mark. And a deep journey into the jungle of Peru many years ago really brought this code through for me. It really deeply showed me in ceremony that this was part of my dharma I had to fulfill, and that there was a lot of healing I had to do before that I could even step into the container of sacred relating. So that journey, well, it took me through such a deep, rich path of searching for knowledge, working with the healing, so many teachers, many paths, many modalities, and each modality, each teaching just woke something else up inside of me, submitting to the humility to be taught by somebody. Collecting pieces of those that had walked the path was completely liberating for me, and allowed me to collect a really juicy toolkit of healing tools. So this blueprint that I want to share with you, and that's why you're listening, is a blueprint that you have inside of you that wants to heal your feminine essence. And if you're a man listening to this, the same thing. There's a place in you that wants to heal that feminine essence, the anima. And for us women who hold a masculine essence, the animus, then we need to know how to work that masculine energy, and how it can also be very detrimental to us, and both can be in shadow. So my life's work has led me to deeply want to work with the kind of shadow aspects of males and females, particularly females, so that this blueprint is able to come forward. And what this blueprint is inside of you, it's a deep call to enter sacred space with the masculine. And for the masculine, it's a deep call for him to want to enter sacred space with the feminine. We are kind of over shallow relating. We're over the push and pull, the Tom and Jerry relationships that we've had in the past, the destructive relationships. We want a container where we can really raise our bar, really enter into deep healing. So this mark, again, that lives inside of you, will also have led you into some traps, as it has me. So the wrong teachers, falling into guises that dress up as the Hieros Gamos. So, for example, the twin flame concept, the New Age twin flame trap that leads many people with the imprint of the Hieros Gamos to fall into this really destructive pattern with a masculine, and then label it twin flame. So there are many traps to the true journey of finding the balance within the self. It's a kind of two-way coin for the feminine. So my own experience is that I have a very strong masculine aspect as a woman. I am very sovereign in myself. I am able to financially, emotionally, and spiritually support myself. I have a very deep masculine anchor that gives me drive and allows me to create and organize and bring into form. So that masculine anchor in me has been positive, but it's also been in deep shadow, because the softer feminine, the feminine that would draw in a sacred relationship, was distorted. She was hurt. She was hiding behind the masculine. And I would never enter into deep committed relationships with people because of that fear, or maybe just the vulnerability of my softer feminine, because I did not want to enter into any relationship that didn't carry this blueprint that I felt deep inside me. So I shunned the masculine, I pushed him away, I ended up being kind of unavailable emotionally and in love, because I was looking for something much deeper. Part of me knew that I was also wounded, so I wanted to find the healing for that wounded part of my feminine. And that's exactly what I did. I went into different healing modalities with different schools and different teachings, and all as a way to find what it was in my feminine pain body that was stuck, that needed to be healed. And why that feminine pain body was not allowing that sacred divine masculine to enter my life. And so that's what I did. I spent many years on trying to soften, first of all, into my womb space, working with womb energy, and then tantra and sacred dance. And so overcoming my fear of those feminine types of healing, so that I could find her, that softer feminine inside of me. So finding the softer feminine, I needed to kind of look at outside of myself a secure masculine, and it wasn't coming in human form. So I completely surrendered to the aspect of the masculine God, sun God, of male God and father God, and spent time working with that to heal my inner child, to work with all the distortions that I held about the masculine, and to submit myself in totality, in all of me, to the masculine Godhead. So I'm still working on the submission, still working on exalting myself to fully allow the Godhead to penetrate me on all levels, and allowing that in whatever amount or tone or essence that came in me really allowed me to attract a masculine in my life, in human form, who embodied the same divine blueprint, who was looking for a feminine that he could adore, that he could love, that he could work with in order to exalt his own divine masculine essence and open out the feminine heart that he felt lived with him. And he'd been living in the feminine heart, but just hadn't been able to really deeply anchor into his more prominent masculine. And so this relationship came a few years ago, and we've been working together to heal both our feminine and masculine aspects, and to be in a relationship that allows us to grow, that allows us to exalt masculine energy, submit feminine energy, that allows us to play with these energies so that we can heal, but ultimately so that we can create divinity between us. So yes, deeply, deeply blessed for the work that I found, the teachers I found, the healing modalities that led me to finding this kind of masculine in human form, and being able in my non kind of dominant feminine way to accept that masculine in all his flaws, in all the wounds, in all the places that he still needs to heal, and him with me too. So that's been completely empowering for me, and is really allowing not only a co-creation between us to divinity, but a co-creation in our work and in what we do in our lives. So my beloved runs a group too called Order of the Sacred Masculine, and he is setting up his ability to lead men into the deeper feminine aspect, because that's what he's embodied, and trying to find healing for his dominant masculine aspect, in which he wishes to lead men into later on when that has been embodied. So we've all got things to teach depending on where we've walked and the wounds and the pains that we have walked through. So I'm sat here smiling in a kind of smug way, but that hasn't always been the way. I've walked some dark paths. I have been through deep loneliness and deep pains in my heart and in my feminine being, and in hatred of the masculine and dislike of the masculine, to be able to come through that darker space into lighter spaces. And I really truly know with all my heart, with all my womb, with all my soul, that we do not enter into any place without walking the shadow path first. We must go into the places that are dark, that are treacherous, that are full of our fear and our pain and our wounds, to be able to come out the other side. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because in May, I am bringing out a body of work that is called the Feminine Rose Alchemy. And it's under my mystery school, my Sacred Rose Mystery School. And this course comes in many different layers. It is an accumulation of my whole journey. It is the toolkit of my healings and continual healing that I'm on. It's an embodied teaching of the places that I have walked and what I have learned about my feminine energy and about my masculine energy, and the places that I've learned from other women by being in women's circles, by working with clients and holding retreats. So this body of work, the Feminine Rose Alchemy, that comes out in May, I'm sending this message out because I'm looking for a certain kind of woman. I'm looking for a woman who's devotional. I want women in this group that are devotional. I only ever take small containers. I am really set on working intensely with women. Anyone will tell you who's in my forums currently that I am intense with them. I really work deeply and hard, and I take my work with them very serious. I want results. I want them to be healing. I want their lives to change on the outside. I don't deliver the pretty. I go into the deep and the murky, and I bring out what was hidden under the shadow. So I'm looking for a group of women who really wants to get down and dirty, who is not afraid to have their shadow exposed, who's not afraid to come into devotional practice every day to really truly embody their feminine. I want to work with women who are thirsty to heal. I'm not opening this container to people who need their bottoms smacking to come and do and show up for practice. I need women who've gone through that, who have gone past that, women who are now in full receipt of the healing essence and the want to heal. So that out the way. There are two types of women that are ideal for this course. So I'm looking for, firstly, the kind of woman who was like me, who was completely in her dominant energy. She is a dominant feminine, and she was able to financially, emotionally, hold herself, but was in the shadow of her masculine energy, was unable to unleash the feminine energy to reveal themselves as a whole piece. So women who exude dominant feminine would be very suited to this course. However, on the flip side, so would the type of woman who's been in the, as I call it, the damsel archetype, the kind of feminine who has given herself away to the masculine, who has a pain body that's allowed herself to be really badly treated and not been able to come into her power, not been able to manifest financially, or been able to support herself without the support of the masculine. I want to work with those two women because I'm able to offer them the healing tools and the strategies and the ceremonies and the insight to be able to heal that part of their pain bodies so that they can resurrect an equilibrium between masculine and feminine energy. So if that speaks to you, then this course may be for you. I will be taking applications in March, ready for May, so that I can select the women who are going to be right for this teaching. And I really need the women who are going to show up. That's first and foremost really important for this work. The Feminine Rose Alchemy is going to work in many different layers. So the layers that it works in will take you step by step through feminine healing. And I'm just going to give you a little overview of what that is. So I've got different layers to this Rose Alchemy. The first is the pink rose, and this is healing the feminine. The second is the red rose, and that's the sacred sexual body. The third is the blue rose, and that's healing your relationship with the masculine. And the next is the violet rose. This is expanding feminine essence, feminine energy. Then next we have the black rose, which is to do with the controversial but very hip topic at the moment of feminine submission. And then finally, we will enter into the golden rose, which leads us into the Hieros Gamos, which is the ultimate of divine relating, whether that be with a man in a human form or whether it is with the masculine God. So they're the layers. The first course that will be introduced will be the pink rose, and that's the one that I will be promoting, ready for me. And the pink rose has layers in it that are to do with the first step of feminine healing. So some of this may be known to you, some of this may be new to you, and some of this may have kind of worked with you but not on a deep level, and I intend to go very deep into these layers. So the first layer, the first petal of the pink rose is the feminine pain body. And we will work into the feminine pain body, looking at the layers of the pain body and what it is your feminine pain body holds. We will then begin to look at the image that you hold of yourself, the body image, the energetic image, and the persona, the perception that you give out of yourself, what persona you send out to the world about yourself. We then will be working, after we've looked at the persona, mother and father imprints, and a deep dive into what the mother and father that we were born into in this life have left upon us, our feminine and our masculine, what imprint, what theories, what nurture and nature, what do we think's normal. So we will be dissecting that and feeling what that has caused in our feminine body. We will also be working with our inner child, the wounded inner child. It's really important to work with the little girl in all of us when we come to healing the feminine aspects of ourselves. And so all the pains and all the things that your little girl holds and what she needs to heal so that she can move into a better relationship with masculine energy. And then finally, we look at the relationship with the masculine. Finally, because a lot of us really want to know what that is about. What is the relationship with the masculine? What's distorted? What's right? What's wrong? What have we judged wrong? Where have we gone wrong in the past? How don't we know the masculine? So all that will be covered. We then will enter into the feminine shadow. So looking at the shadow self, the shadow feminine, and how she's operated and how she's still operating and causing detriment to the healing of the relationship between man and woman. And then a touch into the sexual self, an introduction into your sexual self. So it's a biggie, and it's a course that's going to happen over so many weeks, 7 weeks. So it's going to be intense, and it's going to be deeply healing, and it's going to cause ricochets in your world. It's going to make changes in your world, and it's going to create shifts that will change your life for the better. So if this resonates, you will notice under this video is a link to more information and the little teasers that I've been given about the course in a group that I've opened exclusively for those who are interested in this course. No voyeurs. This group is purely for the women who really feel called to do this work. I also want to just offer those of you that are here and having some resonation with what I am sharing, and just feel that this might not be for you, it might be too deep, too much, whatever. There are other ways that I can work with you. I recently released a transmission about the feminine pain body, and that transmission is available on an audio file, and it takes you through the stages of the feminine pain body, and you can work with that at leisure in your own time and start to kind of self-excavate your own feminine pain body. So I really recommend that if you're new to pain body, and again I'll put the link underneath this video. The other thing I wanted to share with you was the work that I'm doing in my dark sacred rose temple. I have a love of the shadow and a love of working with darker aspects of the feminine. So I've been covering 12 feminine archetypes of the shadow. And I covered Lilith, looking at that kind of wild, untamed part of us in the shadow. And then also looking this coming week at giving the transmission for the Eve archetype. So that's the kind of damsel archetype that we hold within our feminine bodies. So these transmissions are about an hour long, and they really do penetrate you on a deep level. They open up a lot of questionings, they open up a lot of feeling, and a lot of places that you will be able to take action in to change the outer experience of your world. So take a look at the links below to go to my website and order those audios if that's some kind of the healing work that you wish to do. And before I leave you tonight, I really want to share with you the fact that I do work one-to-one with women. I see many clients weekly. I have done for many years physically. I've worked with people physically on one-to-one, and I work with people more visually now on Skype, on audio, working with many different techniques, mind-body therapy, somatic energy, elemental healing. I work with my clairvoyance and knowledge of the energy body and the emotional body. I can kind of read energetic imprints and some of the woundings that your body may be holding. So feel free, if you want more of an individual experience, to contact me to arrange a session. I do hour sessions, half-hour sessions, and an hour and a half deep, vigorous excavations for those of you that are feeling brave. So I just want to thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be trying to give more of my knowledge and more of my teachings this way through audio, and I'm always sharing freebies and wisdom and insights through my website and on my newsletter. So have a look at my website, ColetteUnacorcoran.com, to be updated with those teachings when I share them. But thank you all, and blessings to you all this evening.